have in my hand the Sab X-Finder. It's a professional satellite and terrestrial combo meter. Okay, so I'm just going to open the flap on the front of it, on the actual carry case that comes with it, and we can see the meter inside here. So it's a very, very high spec meter. Effectively, it's like a high-end set-top box, which doubles as a meter because it has all the key functionality of a set-top box, including HDMI outputs, etc. But also, of course, it has a built-in screen as well. So the format of this video is going to be, I'm going to talk in detail about what exactly comes with the meter. I'm going to give an overview of the meter in terms of the key features on it, and then I'm going to give a display of the key menu features that are on this, being displayed in the screen here. We're taking advantage of the fact that it has an HDMI output because it'll be easier to describe this on the screen. So let's come along. It comes in this very robust carry case here. I'm actually just going to open this up just to give you a view inside. So it's a metal case, and if we just look inside here, we can see here we have a slot for the meter and the accessories, etc. We also have padding on top here. Okay, so let's start with it. In terms of the power unit that comes with it, it's charged via a charger that has a 14.5 volts and 4 amp output on it. It also comes with this charger which you can use in your car. Okay. In terms of, there's two meter cables here. There's an RS232 cable, which you can see here, and just off a 3.5mm jack. And also there's a 3.5mm jack terminating in an RCA lead. We have this strap here, which is actually clipped directly onto the outside of the meter carry case here, so you can actually just carry it on your shoulder. We have a user manual, which is in English. We have a little bit of graphics here, just gives an overview with the cover in the case. And we have this neat remote control here as well. It actually has a flat battery in the back, and what you can do is you can just pull out the little piece of plastic there and it engages the battery. This is handy here, but generally if you're using the meter, you're going to be using it directly on. It all depends on the setup really. So what I'll do at this point in time is I'm just going to rotate the unit around here so we can see the various inputs and outputs here. I'm just going to walk around to the front of the table here. So what we have here is we have a USB port on here, and what we have is we have the ability to add on an external hard drive. We can upgrade the firmware or the software via USB key, etc. In terms of the inputs on it, the key ones are we have a satellite input here and a terrestrial input here. So this is S2 and this supports T2. We have a satellite loop out and also a terrestrial loop out here as well. We have a HDMI output which we'll be using if we're connecting it directly to a TV. And we have a switch here which allows us to turn on and off the external or the storage on it. And what we have here is this mini port here where we can actually come along and we could use this for connecting onto an external storage device directly from the unit itself. Okay. What we have here then as well is we have an RS232 and the RCA connections which I showed earlier, and we have an Ethernet port here, and there's a number of pre-programmed programs, etc. that will show in terms of the Ethernet functionality on it, such as Google Maps, etc. We have the ability here for a card reader, a CI, a CA card reader here, and that's very handy particularly if you're trying to align a dish for a pre-programmed channel, okay, or an encrypted channel. And what we have here then is we just have the output here to charge where we put the power unit in. It's a 14.5 volt by 4 amp, okay? So what we'll do here on the side, I'll just show you very briefly. I could take this unit out of the carry case, but there's very little point because other than what we see on the front and the top, the only other item here is an actual switch, okay? So you can just see the switch here and just an on-off switch on it. And that's obviously handy from power saving, etc. If we look at the front of the meter here, what we have here is we have a find, angle, service button, media system. So it's actually just a direct link into a number of the different sub-menus that come inside it here, and the power and the function buttons here as well. And then we have sort of, we're navigating the menu here. What we can use is the plus and minus buttons and also the OK button here. And then we have some special color functions as well. We'll cover those in later videos in more detail, okay? So what we'll do at this point is we'll actually move over to the table here where we have press the menu button and we just have to come along with the meter here. So we'll just go to the very first one, which is the finder button. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually just going to come along and I'm going to press the OK button on the meter here. And it just gives us a choice of satellite, terrestrial and cable. We'll cover each one of these in detail here, but basically what it means is that we can come along and we can find certain signals, things like that. So if I come along here, for instance, and went to the satellite, which would probably be the most commonly used one on it in terms of functionality here, we can see that we've chosen 28 degrees east, okay, and we can just see the signal level that's there, etc. We can turn along, and I think it's the F3 button will turn on the on and off the beeping on it, which you can use if you're trying to, you know, listen when you're getting closer to a better signal. If we just come along here and exit back out, we can hit the exit button here, and I'm just going back into the menu here, and I'll arrow over down as far as the menu angle, okay? So this is very handy functionality. If you're trying to come along and you're trying to set up and figure out what angle I'm going to be picking up from, what you could do here is, we'll say, you can come in and you can actually enter your coordinates, your longitude and your latitude. Or what you could do here is you can actually come along and say, well, this is what satellite you're looking for. And if you're saying, well, I am based in London and I'd like to search here, you can actually just come along, come down to the calculate here, which you can just see. I'll just arrow down as far as it, and I'll press OK. And it just tells me the orientation and the elevation should be. So it's 145 degrees and the elevation at 25 degrees. So it just makes the setup extremely easy. So we can actually add on, if we wanted to, a city. So for instance, if you're working from Dublin or Cork or Edinburgh or Manchester or wherever, you can just add it directly in there, and then you're just pre-set up the whole time. It knows where it is, and it's telling you for whatever satellite the angle that you need to point at. So just hit the menu button to go back out. We can see here we have the spectrum, so the spectrum analysis here. So we can choose it for the satellite or from the T2 cable tuner. Okay, so just want to go that further at this point, just give an overview on it. On the services button here, what we have here is a channel list organizer. So once again, that's very, very similar to what you'd see in an actual set-top box. So what you could do is you could pre-program your channels on it, just tip in and make sure and check the signal levels exactly, or if there's a very specific number of channels you're interested in, you can have them pre-programmed into your box. And there's other things as well in terms of how you organize them, etc. So just back out again. We'll go back over here, and it has media in here. So if you were using the media functionality here, the PVR settings, how to remove the USB key if you had one added on externally. So I'll just menu back out again. We'll arrow over as far as the system settings here. So we'll go in here and we could do things like default settings. We'll say we can do a full factory reset, or you could just delete all the channels that are on it. So you're after scanning in a number of satellites, things like that, in terms of lists and terrestrial lists, etc. You can just go in here in a single press, you can delete them all. So there's a whole range of ones there again. And I'll just go back to the final menu in the overview here, and there's an Ethernet internet connection here. And you can go along here. Probably the one that's most of interest to you would be something like Google Maps here, because you can just find out your exact position, things like that, or try to find out additional information, we'll say, through the Google Maps thing. So that's, once again, a nice setting. So you can see, we'll say, compared to other meters on the market, it's quite extraordinary what it's capable of. There's a few variations of this meter I can see in the market, but in general, we'll say we find Sab a fantastic company to deal with, both in terms of their product knowledge and also the extra effort to make in terms of some of the extra design features that are on this meter that you won't find in ours. So that's it anyway, an overview of the Sab X-Finder satellite and terrestrial combo meter.